Let's talk about the South Carolina Jazz Festival, the 2020 virtual edition. It's a unique and sort of unprecedented situation. And we're sitting here with Brent Swaney, who's the Director of Performances for the Charleston Jazz Orchestra and Charleston Jazz Organization. And we're very thankful for him and for Charleston Jazz. We reached out to them. They're one of the first folks we reached out to. And without a bat of the eye, they immediately said, absolutely, we'd love to support the South Carolina Jazz Festival. We'd love to support jazz in South Carolina. And we've got an amazing video that we can share with you from an awesome concert. So Brent, thank you for that. And thank you for joining us this afternoon for a quick interview to learn a little bit more about you and Charleston Jazz.
Absolutely. On behalf of the jazz scene in South Carolina, Mark, we want to thank you and ColaJazz for putting together this jazz festival. It's a wonderful thing. We thank you.
Right on, man. Absolutely. So I read a little bit about your history. Now you've lived a few lifetimes, man. You've done some amazing things. So you had a long stint in Brussels, Belgium. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I lived in Brussels, Belgium for 7 years. I was actually I'm a retired United States Air Force band member.
Okay.
And so for 20 years, I lived and traveled around the world playing music. And one of my assignments was 7 years with the NATO Jazz Orchestra in Brussels, Belgium.
Wow.
And so besides playing, I play saxophone. Besides playing in the band, I also did the tour coordination. So we would book trips to great jazz festivals like the Cork Jazz Fest in Ireland, or the Imatra Big Band Festival in Finland, or other festivals in France and Italy. So living in Brussels was it was a great experience and a great way to see how people are perceiving and playing jazz around the world.
Awesome, man. That's incredible. So from Brussels, Belgium, you've played with some amazing musicians. I mean, you've backed up some major stars. Are there a couple that stand out to you?
Probably when I was living in Belgium, I got to play with Toots Thielemans a few times, and so that was a great experience to be able to do. He was a wonderfully talented and warm individual, and I got to play bluesette with the composer of bluesette. How cool was that?
Awesome, man. And that, man, he is like the most perfect improviser. He's absolutely perfect. Just doesn't miss. Incredible. So then how did you end up, let's fast forward and get you here to Charleston, South Cackalack. How did you end up here and being part of South Carolina's oldest and most established jazz organization? And you guys have been doing amazing work for over a decade. Definitely a role model for me and for ColaJazz, and I'm sure a role model for so many others for everything that you guys are achieving. Just incredible. So how did you end up with this with Charleston Jazz?
When I retired from the military in 2015, my wife and I bought a house here in Charleston, and we moved here and just wanted to get involved in the scene. So I connected with guys like Charlton Singleton and Mark Sturbank and Quentin Baxter, and just kind of told them, hey guys, I'd love to be involved. What can I do? And they said, well, we're actually having a position open up with what was then called Jazz Artists of Charleston. And so I submitted my resume and had a wonderful interview with Mary Beth Natarajan, who's the former executive director. And she took me on board, and we just kind of, since 2015, just been running with it. We had a very successful 5 years, and brought in some great guests and featured the jazz orchestra in a lot of different configurations with the Charleston Jazz Festival and our regular 6 concert season that we do downtown. So it's been a great 5 years.
Yeah, you are busy. You are so busy. I had the pleasure of working with you as a musician under your direction. I think that was for a Spoleto or Piccolo Spoleto or something. Yeah, seeing all that work that you were doing is it's incredible, and we had a little fun adventure during.
That's right. All of our cars got the boot, so to speak.
Got the boot. Hey, if that's the worst of our problems, we're doing all right.
That's right.
So tell us about, so now you're thankfully you're participating in the 2020 South Carolina Jazz Festival virtual edition, and tell us about this concert that you guys are presenting.
Well, the concert we're presenting is entitled Ellington at Newport, and it was actually the only live performance we had been able to do at the start of the year. So we kicked off our 6 concert series with that concert in February of 2020, and the concert is it's basically it's a paying homage to the great Ellington at Newport record from the 50s, and we played the record top to bottom. It's We've got a couple great vocal numbers as well that were a part of that epic concert, and we're really looking forward to presenting for everybody. It was a great time. We even began the concert as they did back in the 50s with the Star Spangled Banner. So that'll be the first track that you hear was their arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner. Pretty hip.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Wow, very cool. What else do you have to add? Like, what else is happening in Charleston? What all is Charleston Jazz Organization looking forward to? What do you have in the plans? Give us some future things to look forward to.
Well, thankfully, we have been able to resume the season. We have, like I said, we got 1 concert underway in February, and we have 5 more to fulfill our obligation for the season subscribers. So what we're doing is we're pre-recording each of the remaining shows, and we're sending all the subscribers and ticket holders a link to that, as well as performing the concerts live outdoors. The Firefly Distillery in North Charleston has a wonderful, beautiful grounds, about 6 acres, and incredibly sounding amphitheater. And so we socially distanced all the patrons. And our next show is October 23rd. We're going to present Sounds of the Low Country.
Nice.
And so we're going to feature music by a lot of low country greats like Dizzy Gillespie and Freddie Green, as well as some Gullah Geechee music. And going to feature a wonderful vocalist named Zandrina Dunning. So that's going to be at 6 o'clock on October 23rd at the Firefly Distillery. And you can get your tickets. They're $30, and go to charlestonjazz.com to get your tickets. In November, we continue the season with bringing in Nestor Torres. Nestor Torres is a remarkable Latin jazz flautist. And in fact, he was on his way to the airport on March 12th, when everything had to suddenly cease. So I gave him a call. I said, Nestor, I hate to say this, but we're going to have to postpone. So we're bringing him back in November, and we're going to record a show with him and then perform his show on November 20th, again at the Firefly Distillery. Tickets are $30. And then on December 4th, we'll do the same thing with our holiday favorite called Holiday Swing. And so that's to get everybody in the mood for the holidays.
Yeah, awesome, man. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's an incredible lineup. And man, y'all are doing such amazing things. That's really cool that you're, man, keeping jazz alive no matter what. That's a beautiful thing. And it's great that you're recording it. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. We actually have a 5-camera angle shoot, and we're multi-track, recording all the instruments and having it. We have it professionally mixed by Michael Rogers, and the video is done by Chris Hansen, the Hansen Media House, and with as well as a lighting system by PDA. And so it's just a really nice package that we're put together. We start each show with a drone shot coming from up in the air and swooping in behind the band, and away we go. So those tickets are $10 for anybody who wants to watch the show virtually, who maybe are at home or maybe live not in the Charleston area. You can also get those tickets at charlestonjazz.com to watch these upcoming shows virtually.
Now, would you have ever imagined that you guys would be doing a production like this in this year? Would you have ever imagined that?
No, we had to quickly pivot to when things started, when everything went crazy in March. And so our current director, Tatiana Belot, she had the wonderful idea to go ahead into the archives. And we've been recording all of our shows for the last 5 or 6 years. And so each week for free, we were presenting an archived show, whether it be with Delfeo Marsalis or a show we did with Diane Shore, or just shows that featured the band. We also did a great show with T.S. Monk. So it was great to go back in the archives and each week keep the community involved and then, keep everybody engaged. And so now that we're able to perform live again outdoors, we're very grateful for all of our fans around the Low Country that are supporting us. Another avenue that we've had to change course a little bit on is our Charleston Jazz Academy. So instead of meeting in person for lessons, we're now offer virtual lessons. So it's basically a one-on-one virtual lesson with the instructors and the students. And people can find out about that at our website as well, charlestonjazz.com, on how you can sign up for virtual jazz lessons. And it was very useful over the summer because there were a lot of students and adults with lots of free time signed up for lessons because they wanted to, they really couldn't do much as far as getting out of the house, or you can only watch so much Netflix, right? So you can get your horn out and do some playing. So we were lucky we were able to accommodate those folks as well to do virtual lessons, and we're doing that as well right now. The last thing is that we are going to continue with the season 13 of the Charleston Jazz Orchestra. It's going to start in March, and tickets for the general public go on sale on October 26th. And we're bringing the great John Faddis to Charleston, and he's going to do a tribute to his idol Dizzy Gillespie. In fact, John's going to be here over Dizzy's birthday, so we're going to have something special really planned on that day when he's here in October. So, but thank you again, Mark, for putting this together, and we're looking forward to seeing all the great shows that you're going to have going on next week.
Right on, right on. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.